Ladies and gentlemen, it is me, your mate Narlin. Don't go anywhere. Stick around. Because today we're going to have a look at different ship types. So this might be handy for a few of you who have always wanted to talk about or always want to know about different types of ships and what they do. So what we're going to do, I'm just sailing around here close to Taluk Pinjara, and we're going to head back. I'm just going to collect these 8s that I've got sitting here and hand in a little quest while we're talking, and then we're going to head off to Taluk Pinjara, and we're going to have a look at different types of ships. So, as I say, stick around. Please, I know I have quite a few people that watch these videos who are not subscribed to my channel, so if you are not subscribed, please consider giving me a subscription, as you will get notified. I think you'll get notified. You've got to hit the little bell icon, but you'll get notified when I release videos, and I am releasing videos fairly regularly regarding Skull and Bones, but also you may notice that I am doing a few Days Gone videos, because that's another game that I am playing at the moment. So thank you to everyone who has been supporting the channel so far. I love doing these videos because really it's just a bit of fun. Let's be fair, it's a little bit of fun to do these videos and just pass on a little bit of knowledge that I have in regards to Skull and Bones. And I am no expert, but it's just another opinion when it comes to Skull and Bones. So here we are with the only large playable ship in the game. Everyone will be familiar with the frigate now that it's been out for almost the entire season now. It is the first, I'm sure, of many large ships that we're going to see in the game of Skull and Bones going forward. Before the frigates, though, the only options we had for ships was the medium and small ships. And believe me, when I was in season 1, year 1 of Skull and Bones, I was absolutely gagging for a frigate. Go on, make your jokes. I just said gagging for a frigate. So I was absolutely gagging for this, and it took over a year for it to happen, but we finally got the frigate, and I have been loving this ship. But is there going to be better ships coming out? That is a bloody good question. So we do know that the Corvette is coming out at some stage, probably next season, I believe. And if I am a betting man looking at the actual Corvette itself, I would suggest that the Corvette is probably going to be a DPS ship. So we're going to go to the shipwright. Now, DPS. What is DPS? It means damage per second. It is a general term that effectively means a ship that does a lot of damage, or an attacking ship. So let's have a look at the ships that we can build at the moment. So we do have these small ships. These are basically the start of the game ships that we have. So these small ships go all the way up to the sloop, and then we start getting into some of the medium ships. Now, how do you identify what ship type you've got? So up in the top left hand corner there, you will see a couple of cannons crossed over there. That indicates that it's a DPS ship, right? So ship type DPS, you can see that there on the synopsis. If we have a look at the ones with the shield, that is quite obviously a tank ship. So specializes in bracing against incoming damage. The tank excels in defense. So defensive ship versus a specialized, or DPS, specialized in dealing damage and status effects. The DPS favors an aggressive playstyle. And lastly, we have the support ship, or the healing ships. Now, if you have not seen my video on healing ships, please go and watch that, because it does feature my friend Bud, who is a healing ship expert. And you see in those two videos, and we actually do a build in those videos too, so go and watch them to the end. That is a really good breakdown of healing ships and what they are capable of doing. So healing ships, or support ships, specialize in aiding friendly ships. The support excels in providing assists that can help turn the tide of the battle. Alright, so as I mentioned before, we have small ships. You can see that there. So the small ships they're quick and they are very good at turning even at full speed. So if you've got your sails completely fully trimmed, okay, which basically means full speed or third gear if you want to go down that path, then these ships turn on a dime even at speed. Okay, so that's the benefit of the small ship. Now, small ships obviously have, they don't have as high a hull health. We'll have a look at the sloop here. See, the hull health is only 25,000. Okay, it doesn't hold as much. The weight limit's 40,000. That's basically what I carry on my frigate at all times, is pretty much 40,000. And you do have limitations on, you've only got bow guns and broadsides, right? So the small ships have limitations, although they are quick and maneuverable, and they're really, really good to get through rivers and the like, okay? Now we'll go into the medium ships. So the medium ships is where it's been at pretty much for the past 12 months. We do have different types of specialties within these medium ships. So you can see that the main, they're either a DPS or they are a tank like the Snow here. Okay, now pretty much the ship for year one was the Brigantine, and I absolutely love the Brigantine. It is one of, if not my favourite ship in the game. And the reason I like the Brigantine so much was because it goes super, super fast. It is really, really good at ramming other ships, and it was quite powerful. So, and I'll tell you what, the Brigantine is a beautiful looking ship as well. So, really nice looking ship, and it was certainly my favourite for year one. Okay, so we're going to go through here. Then you have different types of DPS ships as well. So where we have a look at the Sandbook here, now a lot of people actually run around in the Sandbook still, and the reason they do that is because this ship specializes in fire weapons, so spreading flames, that kind of thing. So really good against bosses who are vulnerable to fire weapons. Okay, then we go on to the Bark, which is the healing ship. Okay, so again, what I will keep reiterating is please go and watch the videos on the healing ships that I've done with Bud, because that's probably more extensive when it comes to healing ships, but the Bark is the key healing ship. Okay, now you will see the Brig. Now the Brig is also a healing ship, and you will not see a lot of Brigs around the world of Skull and Bones, because the benefit of the Brig, the benefit of the Bark is that it's got a proximity healing ability, which basically means if you're parked next to a Bark, the Bark will actually heal you automatically just by sitting next to it. The Brig does not have that ability, and therefore most people you will see who are healers will be in the Bark and not the Brig. Okay, the Brig's a nice ship, but it is not as good as the Bark. Alright, let's go on to the Battle Junk. So the Battle Junk is probably the second to last tank, and again you do see quite a few people running around in the Battle Junk, and I believe, I'm not a huge fan of the Battle Junk, but I believe that the reason why people do this is because it's a medium ship, which means that it's easier to maneuver, and it is a tank, so it can take a bit of a pounding. Okay. Then we've got the Garuda. Now this is a more of a distance ship. This is a smaller medium ship. It is a DPS and it is good at distance. Okay, I personally have not used the Garuda. I do have a Garuda in my fleet, but I have not used it. But I do see quite a few people running around with the Garuda as well, so it is good at range. I love how the shipwright is still talking to me, even though I am not talking to the shipwright. Alright, and then probably the best DPS medium ship is the Schooner. And for a lot of my earlier videos, you will see me running around in the Schooner. Okay, great ship. It is fast. It's not as fast as the Brigantine, but it packs more of a punch than the Brigantine. Okay, so again, this is a DPS ship. It doesn't have the square rig, so if we go back to the Brigantine, it is a square rigged ship, whereas the Schooner is not a square rigged. I don't know what you would class that, a Schooner class kind of a sail formation. I'm not 100% sure on that. However, the Schooner The schooner can pack a little bit more of a punch. It has a little bit more in the way of health and perks. If we have a look down here, the hull health is 36,000, the weight limit is 50,000. So if you compare that to the Brigantine, so Brigantine's 40,000 and weight limit 45,000. But you can see the trim speed on the Brigantine is a lot better. Okay, and last but not least, we're having a look at the frigate, which is the ship that everyone is running around at the moment. It is the first large ship. Okay, and we will have a look at its stats. You can see hull health at 100,000 with a weight limit of 80,000. So that is huge when you compare that to the Brigantine, for example. All right, so that is a basic breakdown on what each ship does. Now, when we talk about the ability to turn a ship, or in the way of maneuverability, your smaller ships are the best. The medium ships have a really nice balance, so you can turn those ships pretty well at high speed. Not as good as the smaller ships, but you can still turn them at a pretty good clip. The large ships, and you will see this on my frigate build video as well, so again, go back and have a look at my previous videos, but on the frigate, it turns like a truck. It does not turn very well at all, and it is terrible when you go through things like rivers, for example. In fact, I've gotten to the stage where when I am collecting pieces of 8, I'm actually going back to my schooner to go do that collection, because the schooner can maneuver much better around in those rivers. So the frigate is not a ship that is designed to get into small spaces, but you can improve the frigate's turning ability with different types of furniture, which can improve the percentage or improve the speed of the turning ability on the frigate. So the frigate's the first large ship. It'll be interesting to see what comes out of next season and the season after in the way of large ships that are coming out. Obviously, the Corvette's the next one. I actually think that it'll be probably a DPS ship, and I think it'll have a better turning circle than what the frigate will have. But I'm really, really keen to see what the next large healing ship will be. So I don't know when that'll be and what type of ship that'll be, but that'll be coming out in the future as well. So that is, like I say, that's a little basic breakdown of each ship class. If there is something you want me to specifically look at, if you're still watching, if you're one of the 10% of people who are still watching at this point in the video, please feel free to chuck in the comments anything that you'd like to specifically know about these different ships, and I will cover it in a future video. I'll also give you a shout out, alright? So for all of you guys who are stuck around to the end, thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the videos, and we will see you on the next one.